Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. So, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it is like really, really windy outside. So, if it sounds like really weird where you hear gusting in the background, you know what's going on. I happen to live in an area where the wind comes out of the canyon and it is just crazy. I don't think you guys can hear that. I don't hear anything in the headphones. But anyways, so the markets, if we go over here to the charts, pretty bad overnight. You can see here the E-mini, after being range bound and all crazy and kind of looking scared, but not actually moving down, and then overnight they just new low, new swing low. And the Treasuries even higher, although not above these levels, but in areas where we could potentially consider buying it. Overall, pretty interesting, I think. Also over here in Bitcoin, well, you can't really see it. But in Bitcoin had a little bit of a move down to 7,500. It happened very, very quickly. It's like they had a flash crash in Bitcoin yesterday. So, it's kind of just like I'm just telling you guys, don't be into Bitcoin right now. It's not pretty. Okay, so here's the open. Oh, you know what? I don't have everything all set up here. Let's make sure that we get something like that. Oh, you're not even gonna hear that sound. We need to fix our sound, folks. I just jumped right in, and I guess I didn't really go down my checklist very thoroughly. Well, we're back to the VWAP. Anyways, so why is the market moving the way that it is? Well, I think one of the big reasons is that China came out and is like complaining about the trade war. What was it they said? Where is it? China says trade talks cannot continue unless the United States addresses its quote unquote wrong actions. What the fuck? What? What wrong act? What did we do, China? How did we upset you? You got to talk to us here. They won't say why. The U.S. did something wrong, apparently, though. We offended them. Kind of sounds to me like a face-saving, gesture sort of a thing that doesn't mean anything. But it's really weird, right? Also, talk of Prime Minister May resigning. Here they have elections like today or tomorrow, right? And then I don't know. She's going to resign then after that, I think. I don't think it's a for sure thing, but it's just like that's the rumor mill. What else? China enraged after U.S. sails 2 destroyers through Taiwan Strait. Okay. U.S. Secretary of State Pompeo says he believes China is using high-tech surveillance to subdue minorities. Of course they are. We all know this, don't we? Oops. I don't know how I feel about this. That 6 below us, though, looks pretty sturdy. Actually, you know what? Well, I'm a little concerned that we're going to get this thing again where they bought it up, except for that they already did that overnight, and then it just wants to sell all day. You know what I mean? Good morning, wrong. No, Phil. Nobody's going to sell into that. I don't know what to say. Okay. At least one brave soul was willing to do it. Hmm. Unfortunate. I don't think I should buy 21 half though. Hmm. Hmm. Well, got filled. The way that I got filled was okay. It looks like a good spot on the DOM too, but the context is a little bit different than when I took it, and it's not quite as good as when I put the order in there. So I may need to be careful here. Wrong says he's looking to short NQ. Oh man, he made a lot of money last time he shorted NQ, guys. And watch out. He's like a big whale now. Yeah, they're buying up through 21 half, but they're not holding the bid there. This is like the open price right here, 21. Crude falls below $60 a barrel for the first time since March. So they finally decided that the US has that situation under control, did they? Okay, so they did tick up. It was a strong uptick, and the 22 pulled completely. So a little suspicious that they're not buying into 22 yet and pushing it through, but they definitely scared them there on that uptick. Wrong says, haha, not really. I'm still a fish. Yeah. It was on the micros, but still, it was an amazing trade. He told us about it in the comments. I was so proud. I was like, and in my chat room. Hmm. See, when I see something like that, I think that the context is still okay for us to move up from here. But when I see it like that, that kind of makes me think, hey, that last uptick that was really strong was really a trick to scare people out, to try and trick people into buying. Hmm. Now, maybe it's the 5 year here who's in charge. They've been rotating around 4.25. Looks weak, and they're not able to take it. They're hitting it. Okay, it held that time. Well, that's got me just a little bit concerned. This market should be. Oh, you know what? We have news in a few seconds. I forgot about. That's that's not good. So unemployment claims. Okay, cool. They let me out. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, so here comes the numbers. It is. It's not quite going. Okay, so it was 5.19 million. Oh, no, 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 wait. What am I looking at here? Wrong, 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 wrong. Need to refresh. The number was 211K versus an expected 215K, so not a significant change. And they are still now, they did tick up, but now they're still ranging between 21 and 21.5 with not very much put on there. And I think that taking it off there was the right thing. I should have gotten out of it earlier, actually. So I don't want to be in for news like that, not with only a tick. And considering that it's not really moving right here, like it's really range bound in the zipper, I don't think that I want that. Even though I think that there's longer term pressure could move us up, but it's like the up moves are probably going to come in waves. Now, on the other hand, I don't know if I put in an order at 21, if I would be able to get filled. Oh, hey, there you go. You would have gotten filled on an iceberg, but with pretty significant selling. I don't know if that's a little makes me a little nervous actually. And there's an order showing up at 17. No, good morning, Lucas. I don't know, guys. When I took that trade, I was very much like, hey, bonds could have another strong move up. That move, that absorption in a 21 has me a little suspicious now. It's going to be funny if that iceberg ends up being the start of, oh, hey, we're going to move higher. But there's Nicholas. Good morning. We've had you almost every day this week, so thank you for stopping in. Good times, folks. Good times. There's icebergs on both sides of this thing too, so it's. I think that we're gonna move up, but I know that experience tells me that I don't have a very good edge in a spot like this. I think it's gonna move up, but they are holding 21.5 a little bit more easily, or rather, they're taking it bit easily, but it's not staying. See, like that. I don't know if that's a buyer loading up or what. E-minis are kind of pointed down. Traders might get ready for a long weekend starting today. Oh, that's a good point too, Locus. Well, it was the thing is it's Thursday, right? Thursday we usually get at least some movement because of unemployment claims. But today we have the flash manufacturing PMI, which doesn't happen for another hour and 15 minutes. And so I'm not too sure if the treasuries themselves have a reason to be moving right now. Now, equities, on the other hand, normally I would think that they wouldn't have much of a reason to move until that news either, but they've covered quite a significant overnight range because of, I think, because of China. And so if the equities did decide that they were going to go down for another push down, I think you could see treasuries show a rush up. But what we're seeing right now is just a 2-tick range, and I was able to take a tick out of it, and I think that I should be happy with that for now. But yeah, you can see wild stuff happen before the 3-day weekend, right? So we always come through and we're like, oh, it's going to be quiet. And then it's like super crazy. And then you're like, well, what are they going to do when they come back? And then the Tuesday comes and nothing happens. Remember that happened over Easter, right? The Friday was like super crazy, and then the Tuesday, like nothing happened. Yeah, there's Gabe posting yeah. Okay, so they did give us a brief look at 21, and I actually thought about buying it there for a second. And now 2 ticks up and they're hitting into 22. I don't know if it's safe to buy 22, but I don't know, guys. That was interesting. They appear to be trying. I don't think that was a breakout of any kind. I don't know if that's the start of a trend. The fact that the way that they moved back up kind of says to me that maybe they're trying to extend the range. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and see now the 21.5 goes weak. And 21 goes offer really easily. 20.5 goes offer really okay. Now something else must be happening. Is there some news? The E-mini is starting to had quite a jump there. To the downside. Yep. That's pretty crazy. They actually didn't move that far down, did they? I think that they were extending the range there, but then something happened. I'm not seeing it on Twitter yet. Something happened. Is Heidi laughing at me because I said I think it's going to go up, but I know that I don't have edge in here, so I'm not going to take it. And then it moved to the downside, right? It was a pretty funny move, wasn't it? I don't know what they're doing. I still don't. It really bothers me when I see a news spike like that, and then I don't see anything on Twitter. She says no. I mean, you should be. I think that you should be laughing about that, but I'm just pretending to be an evil mastermind, right? Okay, I got you. I got you. It is, man. They are really diabolical sometimes, aren't they? Zero Hedge tweets fixed income markets live in a parallel universe where every time a bond trader's lower lip starts to wobble with an impending temper tantrum, the Federal Reserve is supposed to cut rates. The Fed minutes signaled this is not likely, says UBS. Could that have been what caused us to move down? Ooh, is it Huawei that was the wrong action? Good point. Alligator has a good theory there, I think. So the question in the Discord is, why didn't China list what the United States quote unquote wrong actions were? And he says that the wrong action was Huawei. And that makes sense to me because if it's Huawei, am I saying that right? I don't know how it's actually pronounced, but if it was Huawei, then, and they came out and they said that, well, in order for trade talks to move forward, the United States needs to address the unjust actions that it has done to Huawei. Then the United States is just going to turn around and be like, oh, yep, our bad. Sorry for not buying the equipment that you built to spy on us. Our bad. Right? They're not. That could be. Just one theory. Well, we did go bid again. They're not holding a super strong bid at 20.5. It's 4K. There's still a 53 at 20. Huawei. Oh, yes, you're right. HUA is a Hu. Huawei. Huawei. But what about the HTE ruling yesterday against Qualcomm? Oh, that's right. I remember reading that, but I didn't pay too much attention about it. What was that about? Let's. This is this thing between Apple and Qualcomm, right? Chipmaker loses antitrust case. Oh, the California ruled against Qualcomm. I see. That could be too. I don't know. I just don't see them as like, okay, if they were violating antitrust laws, then they were violating antitrust laws. Sorry, China. We actually enforced the law in the United States against companies. I don't think that they see it that way, do they? They just say, the United States did something that was not good for one of our companies. Yeah, okay. You still are companies, so to me it's not the same thing, but maybe in their minds it is. Maybe they're not. Maybe what they're saying is in bad faith. Maybe they really do believe that. I think they're wrong, but maybe they really do believe that. But I'm a far right extremist, so I thought it was Huawei. Huawei. No, it's like there's. I've been trying to learn Chinese. There's a really great application on Android for learning Chinese, and there that particular set of syllables is a vowel that is kind of strange in Chinese and is hard doesn't really have an equivalent in English, I think. Huawei. Huawei spelling. I mean, the thing that's interesting about this action right now in the 10-year is that they are kind of holding this 21, like the liquidity below us appears to be like still there. But I think in this context, you could be surprised by how easily it goes through it. It's just it's still slow and range bound, and I don't think I have an edge here. I only know ni hao, which means sell all at once. No. That means hello, right? That means hello. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember very many of the words anymore. I touched it like on Friday, and then I haven't looked at it since, and I don't remember the words. What was? Hold on. I remember ren is means people. Oh, that's right. Xiao Mao. No, Xiao Mao. That's a panda. That's a panda. And the fun thing in Chinese, the fun thing for learning Chinese at least, is that all of the animals are like the way that they sound. Like Mao. That's a cat. What was dog? Dog was. This is like Gao. Gao Gao. Gao. You gotta go down and up with that one. Gao. Sell all at once. What actually would be? Yi xi mao diao su you you. Suo yo. That means sell all at once. Yeezy. So is Yeezy sell? No, sell is my. What does Yeezy mean then? That must be like all at once or something. My. Buy in Chinese. What does that mean? B. B. That would be buy. B. Oh, no, wait, that's third giving me the English words. I'm so dumb. No, it is Gao Mai. Is that a? Yeah, that's a down symbol. So Gao Mai. Wrong is probably laughing at you. I probably wasn't the best pronunciation there, was it? I read that the other day that China is going to start allowing banks to trade treasuries. So that's cool. Foreigners won't be able to play with it, but do you imagine if Chinese bonds were open to the markets? Ooh, that would be interesting. Those birds are awake today. Oh, interesting. Zero Hedge says iPhones are now quote unquote embarrassing in China as trade war deepens. Is that what's really going on over there now? Oh, you cannot own iPhone. That is the phone that the American imperialists are selling to us to keep us in slavery. That's I don't think that that's the kind of argument that the Chinese would use. That sounds like a kind of an American conspiracy theorist type of or like Russian propaganda, not Chinese. Chinese. I think the Chinese would just say like, "That's so not cool." You know, you have shamed your family owning an iPhone. But what's their biggest competitor over there for phones? Yeah, but don't the Chinese make iPhone? Well, yeah, like that's the thing. I gotta tell you, I don't know how Apple stock has been performing lately. Let's go look. But I wouldn't want to own. I would not want to own Apple stock right now. Just me. Okay. Give me 1 day bars. Big APL. Apple. Yeah, they've been down, not quite like it's not a disaster. They're still higher than they were at the beginning of the year. Yeah, I'll show you the chart. They're higher than they were at the beginning of the year. Bitcoin is looking kind of. I'm starting to see the chartists in Bitcoin, by the way, say that it looks like a double top chart pattern. I'm still of the opinion that anytime you get any kind of clear pattern in Bitcoin, that some whale could just come in and decide to screw it all up for you. So see, it's holding that 20. Where are we at? Izzy says I've never liked Apple stuff. I'm an Android PC guy. Yeah, I've never liked Android. My wife has an iPhone, and I hate it. And she'll be like, Seth, how do I do X thing, or how do I fix X thing? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't do Apple things. So she still hasn't given up on the phone, but she also had like an Apple computer of some sort. It's like one of those ones, it's all one screen, the square screens, flat panel. Um, and it was the same thing. I was like, oh, how do you do this? It's like, I don't know. So she just started using my computer, and I'm happy with that. and then we built up the stepson's computer, and she can use that one too. It's pretty nice. It's pretty cool. You can build pretty nice PCs for almost nothing right now. I mean, like, if you want the latest and greatest processor, then obviously you're gonna spend a lot. But like the processors that what you're getting for like $100, $150, it's great. Computer components are so cheap right now. Even the video cards have come down to, well, at least the older video cards have come down to reasonable levels. The new video cards are ridiculous. Those 2080s. It's so funny. My brother, he built a new system. It's really nice looking, super small, compact, clean, good cooling. And he was like, I wanted to get the 2080, but the reviews aren't so good for it. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's worth the money. But he bought it anyways, and he's really happy with it. I built my trading PC like 6 years ago, and it's still a champion. Yeah. Well, okay, so we ticked up that time they stacked at 20.5. I'm gonna risk one here if they give it to me. Interesting that no orders are going through. Okay. So I got filled on a sweep. It wasn't a strong offer. There's still bid at 20.5. Okay. They're taking a bid and it's not staying. It's only 554 that time too. Well, we'll see. There's like barely any on the offer, but they didn't take it. The E-mini does look kind of pointed down though. Is it gonna go? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So that stack at 20 half, it's still 42, but it was 6 at one point. Now it's 33. That's not good. A decent amount buying into 21, but it's not. It's probably going to be 3,000 if they take it bid again. Okay, there the E-mini just had a little slip lower. It's still not holding the bid though in the 10-year. Yeah, the U.S. response to Huawei is unrelated to trade and goes back years. The way I see it, it's a national security issue. I totally agree. I mean, they weren't specific, so it could have been any number of things. They could be complaining about Qualcomm. But I think, have you noticed that on the trade war front, um, the political world, even though I was saying yesterday, the political world seems to think that like it's just not going to happen now. But at the same time, you're not seeing Democrats trying to use it as a weapon against Donald Trump right now, are they? Before it was like the Democrats were just, oh, this is so foolish, and we're going to start a trade war and everything. This time, they're just kind of being quiet about it. And I wouldn't be surprised if this continues, if it starts to become like a patriotic issue or something. Like it really seems like that a lot of people are stepping forward and being like, hey, you know what? This is the way things have been going with China isn't very good. And I think that it's not just because of the trade deal, but I think it's because all of these things are kind of coming to a head at the same time. It's like, oh, Huawei was putting stuff in there that allowed the Chinese to spy on us. Um, they are basically manipulating the laws and everything, and like we really shouldn't be trading with them. I think that's what's happening. I think that people are coming around to Donald Trump's point of view, and there's this idea that, well, if Donald Trump gets kicked out of office, then they'll just get rid of the tariffs and everything will go back to the way that it was. And I'm not so sure, even if it was Biden, I'm not so sure that that would happen. I think that all of the people in the uh, national security and in foreign relations and everything would be like, now that we've done this, now that we've stepped off the cliff, we can't go back because um, the future going the way that we were was really bad and not sustainable. Press Secretary Sanders' White House wants to move forward on debt limit work. Well, yes, you've got to do that. So they won't do any serious policy, but they still got to take care of that thing. That's good. I wonder if the administration thinks if we just sit here and do nothing, that the economy will go up and put pressure on the Democrats again or something like that. So much political analysis today, but I find it so interesting. It must be on my mind because, man, that press conference yesterday. Did you guys watch that press conference yesterday with Donald Trump? Basically said, like, we're not going to do infrastructure or any of these other things until they stop their investigations, and the whole thing is ridiculous. And of course, in full disclosure, because I'm generally pretty conservative fellow, and I totally agree with them. I think what the Democrats are doing is pretty silly. But man, the he was pretty mad in that press conference. And then afterwards, when I like got on Reddit the next, later in the day, oh my gosh, it was like the spin machine was turned up to 11. There was just so much stuff trying to bolster the Democrat position, saying that Donald Trump was embarrassed by Nancy Pelosi was some of them what they were saying, and some of them were saying, "Oh, well, Donald Trump is saying that he's more important than the country." Lots of things like this, and I was like, man, like nobody could sit and read all this stuff 24/7 and not be influenced by it. It was kind of scary to me. But I mean, they really turned it up, and they're going that way instead. It's all the investigations are like ignoring the trade war thing. It's interesting. And the Democrats are all acting um, like the end is near, like that Donald Trump is going to be impeached and indicted any day now. And I don't think that it's even close. I kind of wish that they would do it because I don't think that he would get convicted. Like in my mind, can you imagine? What would be a good example? I was thinking weapons of mass destruction would be a good counterexample, but I don't think that it is a good counterexample. Um, okay, like JFK being murdered. Like we were talking about that yesterday, right? The time um, that he was assassinated, how come his name just like all of a sudden went out of my mind? Well, it's because we're ticking down here. I'm a little concerned about it. Okay, JFK. When JFK was murdered or assassinated, it was kind of like at a critical time. And history might be very different if he had lived. Um, and so there's no wonder that there's so many conspiracy theories around it, right? And this persists to this day, right? Well, if they don't impeach Donald Trump, people are going to the conspiracy theory is going to continue. And 30 years from now, people are still going to be arguing about whether Donald Trump did anything wrong or not. 30 years from now, can you imagine, do you really want to be arguing about this for 30 years? That's my take on it. So my thought is go for it. Go for it and lose so that we don't have to argue, so that we can finally, get down that he didn't do anything impeachable, and we can, move on as a nation. Move on. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. So we ticked back up and it's looking like it might break 22.5. If we got beyond 22.5, then I think that it would be a pretty positive move. Or rather that we could maybe see some breakout and continuation, but you guys are all quiet now, so I hope that means that you are involved in a winning trade. Well, they're not just busting through 22.5, but the E-mini looks bad. It's like it's so close and it's not. It's not just going. Also odd that I have some friends here with me at 24. What's with that? 53 there. Was it always like that? I don't think it was always like that. Okay, so it goes bid. Nobody's traded in 23 yet, but it was accompanied by another little slip in the E-mini. No, didn't hold. I like, by the way, that I got a good stack at 21 and a half. So they are still well and at 22 as well. So they're still kind of giving us signs that they would like to continue on. Oh, good morning, John. Okay, that uptick was a little bit different just because it went bid and like there wasn't any playing with the bid or anything. It just kind of like stood solid there and didn't do anything. Okay. They actually, all 600 of that actually did buy. I'll look at this big order at 05. That's been there for a long time. So that's what's stopping us here. They could just, if they went into that, they could just bust through that though. Oh man. This is pretty unlikely though, isn't it? Let's see if anybody starts buying into it. I don't think that a bid like that in the 5 year would, or sorry, an offer like that in the 5 year would just pull, you know? I think that they're going to trade it. But if they do trade it, the market orders to buy through it might come through really quickly. Okay. E-mini is starting to test this previous swing low now. It looks like that will go through. They're holding 1,000 now at 0.4 in the 5 year. But nobody buying 05. We need that brave soul to click that market buy button at 05 in the 5 year. Oh my. Okay, so that is exactly what I thought it might be. They just busted right through it. Okay. So now at 24, there's now 6,000. That was quite a little slip there, wasn't it? Oil is tanking. You know, I don't have an oil chart up anymore because it was just too much. It moves too much. It's like processing power to like even have it back there. Okay, so this is telling me that I might not get filled at 24.5. I'm going to let it tick through here and see what happens. They are stacking fives below us. Like, this is all good for continuation still. It's down another 3% today. You see that? There's definitely an iceberg here. Stacked 4. Talking about the 23 that it stacked to 4 when they tried to take it, but it didn't just go. Okay. Okay. See, when I get an iceberg like that after a move like that, they usually go through it, right? But there's almost 6,000 above that. And then there's a little jump there, and then there's the 7,000. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if this is a good idea. I think that it's probably better for me to take that right there if they give it to me. Yeah, well, they down ticked. In fact, uh, Sun Devil says he just sold the ZB credit spread. By the way, how is the... Okay, we have been steepening through this. That's the way it should be. Interesting that they ticked back down here in the 5-year and it's just like awfully quiet again. Okay. Dang, they're gonna make me chase this all the way back down, aren't they? So that one at 22 half, it only trading 681 is not a good sign for us. I think I waited too long. Shit. Well, that one absorbed a little bit more. I'd feel awfully dumb getting all of that and then selling at 21 half, man. Especially if that's as far as it goes and then it popped up, you know. But they went through a big order up there in the 5-year and now we're down again. Okay, so there's an uptick. They plowed through a decent amount to do it. Good morning, Ace. Let's see, is the 5-year going to step up again and attack that 05? Are they going to go through it or what? And Juna Beats was great. I listened to it and I really love it. Oh, I'm glad. So if you don't know the history behind them, and Juna Beats was a label created by Above and Beyond. So Above and Beyond is like the main artist. They're my favorite. And they have a podcast called Group Therapy every week. So that's the pod. Like if you like that stuff, that's the podcast you should listen to for like all the new stuff. And then they've got that playlist on Spotify. Well, they have a couple of playlists on Spotify, but they have that one that's like stream safe. But it's only stream safe on Twitter or on Twitch, not on YouTube. So that video that I did, it got taken down. But it's great music, right? It's my favorite. I mean, I like all kinds of trance, and I listen to a bunch of electronic music. Like I listen to Noisia, which is really loud drum and bass. I listen to Ali and Fila, which is like uplifting trance. But Above and Beyond is my favorite. Hunk says, yeah, I know Above and Beyond. Yeah. They're the ringleaders of that whole group there. This 45 at 23 is looking fairly solid. I don't know if I'm going to get filled here. E-mini is pointed down a little bit again. There was a few hundred orders canceled at 23 when they started buying. So now I'm 15 in line. I think I'm just going to take it here. I'm thinking in my head, like, hey, you know what? Maybe they're going to bust through and they're just going to push new highs again. But the way that all happened and the place that the E-mini is at and everything, I think that if I can get a fill here at 23, that I should take it. It was a good trade. I really should have taken it off at 23 half on the iceberg. Lately I've been seeing when you get the iceberg that they go through it a little bit. But they didn't do that this time, and we are getting into a more of a range bound type of action. So I think that I need to start taking it on those more often, even here when the market's being kind of zany. USD CAD extends to a new session high. Oil prices extend losses. Brent falls by more than $2. Wow. $2 is a lot in oil. That's a lot in oil. I'm not going to pull up an oil chart because it was just too much data that Ninja Trader was pulling in with all the other instruments that I have, and oil is just too active. But when Heidi said it was going down, I was kind of like, okay. No, it really went down. There's actually only been 172 bought into 23. Okay, cool. +4. That might be it for today. I don't know. Well, we got 30 minutes to news. See, this is where they're just going to punch it right up to 25, and I'm going to be like, why did I sell? Well, it went off again. So that's comforting. And 22.5 is going weak. So if they tick down at 22.5, then that's like, hey, I got a really good fill, and I have to just really thank the market maker for being nice to me. I know that I made some mistakes in the past, and I was kind of a little egotistical on Monday and made some bad trades, but you've been nice to me since, and I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. It's good stuff. Yep, it did go offer. Okay. So here I've had a weird thought yesterday. Because yesterday was something else, right? I kind of wonder if when some of that news hit, you know what people are calling it, right? They're calling it the minutioning. But when Minution came in there, Ace says 28, 30, 25. I'm guessing that one did not work out so well then, huh? Anyways, they were calling it the minutioning, which I think is hilarious. But I caught 2 trades. One of them I let come back on me. I almost let some of these come back on me today, but I think I got lucky. Yesterday I had caught one, and that was a pretty good trade, and then I caught it again, and I got out, and then just after I got out, it just just was, oh man. USD just ripped too, not sure why. And that's interesting because I don't really see a huge move in the 6J. Let me put on some tabs here. Anyways, so the whole point of that was I just feel really lucky this week. And at some point you have to wonder how much of it is luck and how much of it was actually that unconscious competency, maybe. You only had a weird thought yesterday. I find that hard to believe. I'd think your weird thought SMA is higher than that. the Seth Ellis simple moving average of weird thoughts is higher than that. I like that. Oh, John, that was one of your better jokes. That was great, dude. Oh man. But no, I've just the past 2 weeks, except for Monday, of course, and I think that Monday I was not right in the head. I think that I was tired and I don't know, tilting. It was a tilt day, right? That was me. That wasn't the strategy. That was me. But other than that, like the strategy for the past 2 weeks, you just seems really lucky. It's like every time you get in and you catch the good run, And then you get out, and after you get out, you're like, oh, I'm so glad that I got out. Higher than just yesterday, at least. The weird thought. No, I don't know, man. We had some pretty crazy thoughts yesterday. So I always wonder, because like, I try not to think about like, okay, no, so let me back up. Completely different segue, because it's fun. I'm just thinking about Bernie Sanders in the presidential primary. And, like, I'm kind of am wondering, like, does he have, like, they say that he's a cuck. That's the joke that the Donald Trump supporters have about him. But, like, sometimes I really wonder, because it's like, if you really wanted to win, wouldn't you do these things? Wouldn't you say, okay, I'm going to attack my opponents and do everything that it takes to win? And he doesn't seem to do that. And so sometimes I wonder, does he really want to win? And so it's like, Bernie, let's say you're at a debate. This is my advice to Bernie Sanders. So you're at a debate and they're talking about something. And you have a thought, policy that you like, or that you would like to share, or something, some idea. Here's what I want you to do, Bernie. I want you to sit and think. You have like that internal voice. I don't quite have a very strong internal voice. Oh, there was an 8K bid at 21.5. That's interesting. I don't have a strong internal voice, but you probably do, Bernie. Okay. So you need to sit there and say to yourself, okay, is what I'm about to say going to upset or turn off some of the voters that I am relying on to win the presidency? And if it does, don't say that thing, right? He shouldn't say that thing. Now for me, I sit and it's like, okay, is what I'm about to say, would that maybe make some people turn the stream off? And I probably should not say, if I want more viewers, I probably should not say that thing. But I say it every time. I say it every time. Right. So yesterday we talked about a couple of weird things, and I'll say something and I'll look and it's like, okay, people turning out. Does anybody say anything? Is it like generating more discussion? And sometimes I just wonder, like, I'll say something and nobody says anything about it. And I wonder if that's just like, oh, okay, that was an interesting thought. It's just Seth being Seth. Or if it's like, oh, okay, I'm really upset, but I'm just going to be quiet and not say anything so that he shuts up and changes the subject. You know what I mean? Yeah, he says, yeah, but everything upsets everyone nowadays. Yeah, well, so, and here's another weird thing, and this was kind of going to be my thought for today, but so I've been making those political videos about analyzing the presidential primary, and I take my selective collective outrage intravenously. It's a great comment. No, I made those videos, and I made the one video that was Bernie Sanders is down in the poll, and I really tried to clickbait it. I really did. I was like, we're gonna have the picture and all of the things, and I'm going to change the format of it to try and keep people into the video longer. And it really worked. I thought it worked really, really well. And most of the people that came in and watched the video were Bernie Sanders supporters. They're browsing YouTube and they're like, they see a video, Bernie Sanders is dead. No, he's not. I'm going to have to go and correct them. And then I get all of these people commenting that the polls are wrong. And I'm just sitting here like, you people are crazy. Like, you are in complete denial about the reality of the presidential race right now. The reality of the presidential race right now is that all of the candidates have gone far left because of Bernie in the last primary. And Joe Biden has come over and taken the middle and is completely destroying all of them, even though he has been traditionally considered a weak politician. But because he was a vice president and people happen to like him, I guess, he's just absolutely destroying them. And then Bernie Sanders came along and said something like super far left that most Americans just do not like, that felons should vote from prison, and he went even further. And that's the reality of the presidential race. And there's all these people commenting, "Oh, that's not what's actually happening. Ignore the polls; they're all wrong." It's like, no, you're in denial. You're in denial. And but it was like most of the comments were like negative and along those kinds of lines, right? So then last night there was a thread on the Donald about you know, it had something to do with the presidential race. It was a picture of like there's this new meme with these two girls fighting, and there's this guy in the background with the bong just enjoying the fight. And so they had a picture that this was the presidential primary, and the people in the background were the Donald Trump supporters just watching them fight. And that's how they thought it. And I was like, and I posted, I really love watching it because the politics of it is interesting, and I've been making videos. And that comment got like a decent amount of upvotes, and I got a ton of views from it. And they commented there in the thread like, "Oh, I really liked your video. It was really good in all these things." So it was like, even though I wasn't intentionally making the video for Donald Trump supporters, I was trying to make like okay, this is the reality of the race, and make it maybe a little bit clickbaity so that more of the Democrats would click on it. But there are just so many things that are in there that are just natural to my Republican thinking that the Democrats just don't like it, and the Republicans do. It was so interesting. It was totally unintentional, but I was surprised at how positive their reaction to it was. But maybe they just like it because they hate Bernie and they like to see him down in the polls. I don't know. But I would like to see Bernie win, honestly. Not the whole thing, but I would like to see him win the nomination because I think that would be the most fun race. Like Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, to me, is not very interesting. It would be a tough race for Donald Trump because Joe Biden has some good support in areas where Donald Trump had the support, and he would really have to take Biden out to win against Biden, I think. Biden probably would be a more difficult opponent. But Bernie would be way more fun. It would be like socialism versus, I think it would be so good. Unfortunately, it has also given others the ability to provide the multitudes with disinformation, fueling anger and trust. Oh wait, what was the first comment? That's the beauty/curse of social media. It gives people you would not have heard from 10 years ago a way to be heard. Unfortunately, it's also given others the ability to provide multitudes with disinformation, fueling anger and unrest. Yes. So, and this is something that's confusing to me, but I think it's because we're just so unaware. Like, segue again, but I was watching a video the other day about this guy that was like a body language reader for the FBI. And he was, they were saying, is there some way that you can tell if somebody is lying? And the research evidence, and the government has put a lot of effort into researching this. The evidence is that there's no way to tell if somebody is lying, and that we as people are very, very bad at detecting dishonesty. We're very, very bad at it. So there are probably a lot of things that I think are true that I were absolutely false. And I just saw it, and some random person shared it to me, and I didn't click into it further, and so I didn't know any better. And you don't know. But then I look at some of the things that people do believe, and I'm like, how can you be so like off kilter with like what's actually going on? It's just really shocking to me sometimes. How is it that they're able to create so much disinformation? But maybe I don't know. It is kind of weird, isn't it, John? But it is nice to be able to hear from people 10 years ago. Well, I mean, like a room like this, we wouldn't be able to have. They had chat rooms, but it wasn't the same thing. I feel like we get a good personal relationship with each other doing this stream and the Discord chat. It's good stuff. You guys are, I really appreciate that there are people that come in and watch every day and are listening. I think to the whole stream, even if they're not commenting all the time. I'll see people like, especially like regulars like John and Uzi and Lucas, who comments on the videos, and Ace, of course, comes in every day. Heidi, I think, is listening every day. She doesn't say something every day, but I think she's listening every day. Wrong. Who else? Yeah, I think I got most of you regulars. And then, of course, Alligator's always in the Discord. And just like every day, and it's not just like one person. And that to me is like really, really amazing to me. And I'm happy that like we have a community, because I don't want it to be about me. Like I like the community, and it's just so cool that people have found another group of traders that they enjoy enough being around that they're going to come and do it every day for several hours. So Lucas was asking about the PMI. Oh, what's Susie saying? Social media. No. There's a couple of comments. They all came in out all at once. Lucas says, what would happen if the PMI numbers are good, and what if they are bad? Okay, so let's address that first, because it's important, right? So we are looking for a reading in the flash manufacturing of 53 and 53.6 for the services PMI. The previous readings were 52.6 and a 53. So it's kind of like a wash, like they were expecting one of them to be lower and one of them to be higher. When I look at the past, these can be a point off. So I think that you probably will get a decent amount of volume after these come on, and it will be if the number is below expectations. I would expect treasuries to move up, and vice versa if they move down. I'm not seeing people taking explicit positioning, so I don't know if there's a real positioning change on it, but there is some real shorts here in ES, right? Let's see how the first 15 minutes go, because that can completely overdo anything in the overnight. But I think that if the PMI comes out and it's really good, then you could really see the E-mini move up strongly. But I suspect that it's probably going to be a wash. So I don't know. We're going to watch and see. I'm just going to let it come through and let them do their thing, and then decide what to do from there, if there's a trade or not. Anyways, so Uzi was saying, social media engorges people's narcissism. The spreading of misinformation isn't so much intentional and dubious as it is stupid people desperate to get the social media mobs to brand them as intellectuals. Sometimes the disinformation comes from people who are very opinionated but uninformed. That's true too. This happens to me on my Facebook a lot. So like, most of my friends on Facebook are liberal. I don't know what it is. I like liberal people. Maybe I would be a liberal if I wasn't born in Utah. I don't know. But I think that I have a higher than average openness than most people in Utah do. So, we went to raves and knew a lot of people from that. And so most of them are like diehard liberals. And a couple of them are like very political. Like they post political stuff every day.
The E-mini had a very strong, well, not a very strong, but about 2,000 contracts short right on the open. Hmm. So I hope I don't. I think that Ace did take a short and he got stopped out of it. I didn't hear him say anything, but I hope if that was the case that he took another one and cut that short because this looks like a real dumpster fire now. But I think I'm going to stay out because I made 5 ticks. So for me to take another trade, I think I want to see something really like a really good opportunity. And they're on the open. That one, obviously, it is moving, but that's not one that I could have necessarily have seen, other than that it was at 21 and it was at a good price. Your older brother leaves for Utah today. Ace says I did. I shorted 28, 30, 50. Ah, that's awesome, dude. Good 6 points. Peter says good morning. Man, so let's post in here. So, anyways, back to the other subject. So, I have a lot of liberal friends on Facebook, and they are super triggered by the whole abortion thing. And there was a lot of things that they just did not know what was going on. Now, a lot of it is I wouldn't blame anybody. Like, for instance, I didn't quite catch at first that the Alabama law is like, it's straight up bans abortion, like, just period. And it probably stands absolutely no chance of being upheld in the courts. Like they're going to strike it down probably in all likelihood. I don't even think it'll make it to the Supreme Court, right? The other ones are heartbeat bills, so they all kind of have different language. Like the Missouri one talks a lot about 8 weeks, so they're kind of making it like if it's 8 weeks gestational age, that's the cutoff point for when you can abort. Mm, Most of these people didn't know any of that. They thought that this bill was like if anybody it would like stop almost all abortions, and that if a woman got abortion, that she would be thrown in jail, which is absolutely ridiculous. Do you know like 2 people in the history of the United States, like ever, so like going back to the 1600s, have ever been convicted, or women have been put on trial for an abortion? Like 2 people. Like it never happened, and all of the bills specifically say that like it's not just that they say it's only a crime to perform the abortion. It's they specifically say a woman cannot be held punished for having the abortion. They straight up say that, like almost, well, not word for word, but that's basically what they say. They explicitly ban that. And all of my friends thought that they were going to be putting women in jail. Like all of the liberals thought that. It was really weird to me. And same with well, I guess we kind of had that with Ace. So he was saying that the late term abortions don't really happen. I think he was. I mean, it's the specifics of it are not quite like it's like 10% of abortions after that point. After 13 weeks. After 13 weeks, 10% of abortions happen after 13 weeks. But they do happen. And when you consider the number of abortions that people actually have every year, it's actually a lot. But about 35% of abortions happen before 6 weeks. So 35%, no matter what the specifics of the heartbeat bill is, 35% would still happen. And of course, you'd have to assume that a certain amount of people would adjust to the change in the law and just try to make sure that they have it earlier. But 35%. And then if you extend it out to 8 weeks, that's actually like 65% of abortions or something like that. So the way the Missouri bill is worded, I think that you could get away with doing an abortion up to 8 weeks. And so that would still be 65% of abortions would still be legal. And then the Utah bill, which is what we have, where I live, which is 13 weeks. And that is in line with like most of the civilized world, really. That's like 90% of abortions still would still happen under that law. And I had so many people telling me that like this is like a essentially banning abortion. No, no, it does not. At least that's not what the statistics that I looked at said. And yeah, they were super passionate about it, and they just weren't well informed. And that happens a lot. But that's kind of human nature, right? It's in our nature to mm, stick with the group, right? We would like to think that what we believe is based on logic, but it's not. They've actually done studies that most of how we pick our mates is based on body language and not anything that you say, which is funny. But okay. That's probably why when I stopped, when I started taking medication, I didn't do as well in dating because my body language wasn't as open. Adderall kind of makes you a little more closed off. Well, we did lose a few people through that whole big long thing. Opinionated but not well informed, right? I like to consider myself well informed, but it's like on any one issue you could be grossly misinformed and not know it, right? It happens. Well, I'll give you an example of a time where I found out that I was grossly misinformed. It's always a problem, especially on social media. I was grossly misinformed on something, and it was quite embarrassing to me. I thought at the time I felt embarrassed. So and it was the Charlottesville thing, because I remember before the Charlottesville event happened, and I try and check all of the political subreddits, and so I read most of the stuff that comes through on the Donald. I read most of the stuff that comes through on r/politics, and I remember and on the Donald, because I'm a conservative, I've always been like really adamant about like if I see stuff like supporting white nationalism, like I'm coming in and like no, Donald Trump doesn't support white nationalism, and like you can't be a part of this movement and be saying things like that. Like they'll straight up ban you on that subreddit for saying that stuff. And they always have, because early on, very, very early on, right? Donald Trump had to disavow David Duke, and I think that he had to disavow who's the other guy? I don't even remember his name now. Richard Spencer. I think that he did specifically disavow Richard Spencer too, right? Pretty early on. So then I see there on the subreddit that they're having a rally, and they had been having like rallies of sorts, not official rallies, but just of Donald Trump supporting, anti-globalist minded people and free speech minded people. I think most of them was that they were concerned about free speech. They were concerned that Antifa was out trying to suppress free speech. And so they wanted to go out and show them that they weren't going to be intimidated. And so they had this rally that was like, well, we're going to have this rally with everybody, just so that we can say that, hey, we respect everybody's free speech, was kind of the idea. And there's like, even if there are people that you don't completely agree with, you could still maybe learn some interesting things from them, and, maybe have some interesting points that might help you, even if you disagree with their main points or something like that. I did not look at who was actually on the docket. One of the people that was on the docket was Richard Spencer, which the fact that Richard Spencer was on it at all meant that should not have been promoted on the subreddit. Well, I could have bought it again, even after I said that I didn't want to buy it. But I'm going to wait for the news. And Rung is taking it. Oh, it took it at 73.30. Oh, that's the NASDAQ. I don't know where the NASDAQ is at right now. Anyways, that fact alone, that Richard Spencer was there, should have meant that post should have been deleted by the administrators. But one of the mods was supporting it or something. I don't know how it lasted. I really don't know who it lasted. And there was some other people that were on there that are kind of, so there was this other guy named Ignatius Loyola or something like some bizarre Roman name that he like changed his name. And there's controversy about him as to whether or not he's actually a Nazi, because he's said some things that kind of or like he did something where it seemed like he had written something that was Nazi, but then it was like hidden and he was trying to hide it or something, so they think that he's a secret Nazi. And it looked to me from the research that I took that that's actually quite likely, and that he was supporting some views that were extreme and that were also not in line with what should be posted on that subreddit. So then the Charlottesville thing happened, and the first thing that happened was they had that candle torchlight vigil, and I was like, okay, so I'm a little concerned about this rally now. And the people in the thread on the Donald were saying, oh, well, this is just a small group of people, and obviously you can't control who's going to come, and these were just some of the crazies, and that's not who's going to be there at the main rally tomorrow. So then they had the main rally, and that whole mess happened where they got kicked out of the park and everything, or there was like a violence in the park and they got kicked out, and everybody on the subreddit was upset because of the way that the police behaved, and basically like that they set it up so that people would get hurt. Mm, and so I thought that most of the people that were there were just the same people that were there at any rally. Well, now it's really going in the yes. Did we just get some news? Oh no, that it was the PMI. Anyways, so I remember even after it happened, me being like, well, there wasn't anything explicitly bad. It wasn't until I actually looked at who was on the docket that I was like, oh, anybody that went to this was an idiot. Anybody that was actually there was either fooled or is not somebody you want to be associated with. And in retrospect, I feel dumb. Okay, so that's a lot. Okay, so 50.6 for manufacturing and services. Hold on. That really moved faster than I could do anything about it. 50.9 for services. That's a lot of volume at 25. What's the next step up? 27. There's still a little bit of room. I don't know if I want to mess with it being there, with what happened there at 25. That was pretty. The ES really didn't like that. That was wild. I said to myself, I don't want to take it unless I get another really good trade. But maybe if I had been a little bit more vigilant, maybe I could have caught some of that. So what is it? I don't see. The number is bad. 2 points off. That's not like the end of the world terrible. 25 is looking a little weak again. Okay, it goes offer. Humany, man, took a real dump and they snapped back quickly. I think that might have been the worst of it. I don't think I can short it here, but I can maybe let them cool off and maybe there will be an 8 o'clock trade or something. I think I'd probably rather just take what I made today and run, but could have been a lot more in it if I had tried my luck. I would have only have been buying, so I could have maybe have done well. Okay, so the E-mini is really recovering hard. CBOE volatility index up 2.42 points at 17.17. Hmm. PC maker Lenovo books fourth quarter profit surge. Okay, so they did go offer, but they ran into an iceberg at 24. Risk off markets are very sensitive to bad news at the moments. Yeah. Recovered. That snapped back hard. This kind of the this in ZN looks like a lot of little baby birds with targets above that are looking for this to just trend. I don't know if it's going to do it or not. I think that they could make it to 27 at least. Okay. This can be a tricky trade because when it stops, it comes back quickly, doesn't it? Oh man, if I had taken that 21, I would have gotten the whole 8 ticks. Like, that was kind of what I was hoping was going to happen on the first trade. Oh well. No, you know what? I'm still happy that I took just the 5 and didn't mess around with it too much because who knows if I would have taken the right spot. Okay, 6,000 at 26. They traded through that very quickly as well. They really bought it too. Almost 10,000 contracts all at once buy. Pretty crazy. See, this is where it's like I'm gonna buy it up here where it's elevated, and it's just gonna go. Okay, so the E-mini coming back down
block buy
quickly. Okay, there was a block buy at 27. Whoa. Wow. Wow. That was crazy. $6K block buy at 27. Are they gonna fight him? So E-minis are down there at their lows again. I think there's a good chance of a new low there. Yeah. Man, that's something else, guys. I feel a little left out here, but this is crazy stuff. CB twisting the 2019 high at 150.21. Okay. Was that the 2019 high in ZN too? I think it was. So this is where it's making me a little cautious because I think we could go past 27, but I don't want to get caught on it just dumping back down on me really quickly, you know? It made it one tick through the high from last week. Yeah. Pretty good stacking down in this area too. Lots of liquidity above us though. Hard for me to say when it's going to stop. If I can buy into it at like 28 here. Like it's possible, but I think I'm still better off just watching it. Yeah, you were too busy yakking to see the setup for the move, probably. But I kind of had said to myself that I've taken five today and it might not be worth the risk. So I was kind of trying to distract myself on purpose. The thing is, mm, the move happened at 45. We were actually up at 24 half. And the beginning of this move happened on the open. So the beginning of this move was, I saw it there and I saw it at 21 and I said, well, I'm maybe consider buying it
Block
here.
buy.
Except for that this trade is basically based on what is ES going to do on the open, and I didn't want to take that trade. Then when it was up here at 24 half, at that point I think it was a little bit too volatile. Then I was paying attention, but now it's how far is it going to go and I don't know. So even if I was paying attention, I think that maybe I would have been really tempted. I might have clicked in and gotten lucky. But this is a kind of thing where I can give back a lot, you know? Well, there's a good stack at 27 and a half. No, I don't know if it's gonna. There's just too much volume trading through here, and I don't know what ES is gonna do. I'm actually kind of thinking you should short this, but yeah, you can't fight that kind of momentum, you know? Like that 7K iceberg at 28 half. Yeah, I think maybe I would have probably. Yeah, I don't know. Well, the thought is always has to be, even if you didn't do something right, did you play the strategy correctly? And would that have been a good thing? And I guess what I'm trying to say is that it may have been possible that I might have bought. Um, I'm not sure if that would have been a good thing, even though it would have worked out really well for me. Hmm. So was I seeing it at 28 where I was like, maybe it could go through? And I was like, no. Man, they're just, who knows how far it's going to go. I really can't tell now. This looks a little overdone to me now, though. Actually, it is very overdone. I've never seen it go through the bands like this. Yeah. This looks way overdone to me. I think that there's a good chance that it pulls back a lot. That was way overdone. That might have been the most I've ever seen it go. I think that might have been it, on my VWAP bands. I think that was the strongest buy I've ever seen. I've never seen it go that far. It went 5 ticks beyond the third band. That never happens. They almost always have to pause and turn around after the third band. I still don't think I'm gonna take it. Like I said maybe I might take one at 8. We'll see. Pretty wild stuff. So was there something about that PMI number that made it particularly bad? US PMI crashes, business confidence collapses to 7-year lows. Zero hedge expert who said trade war was quote unquote priced in yesterday says, gee, maybe the tariff tantrum wasn't in the price of equities after all this morning. Yeah, I kind of suspected. They are still expecting Theresa May to resign too.
Block by.
Still. And at 29. I don't know, guys. That's wild. I'm tempted to short 29.5. Yeah, housing news in 1 minute. What was the number for that one, by the way? New home sales, we're expecting 678. Yeah, 1 minute. There's no way that I can participate in this. This is wild. This is insane. I saw that block buy and I was like, well, maybe they're gonna go for it again, but maybe they're gonna fight it. But this is just oh man. Okay. Here comes the news here. Okay, not seeing like a big volume rush. Not yet, at least. And I didn't see any pulling either, by the way. Okay, 673 versus 675 estimates. So a little bit less than expected, but not super bad. 30.5. I don't know, guys. The ES looks like it's turning around. Ooh, I don't normally take this, but I'm seeing it. I guess I wasn't the only spot in Utah that had high winds. It's going to go without me. I missed it. Unfortunate. Okay, they've come back to the third standard deviation, though. I normally don't want to play a reversal on something, but I'm seeing a change. You see it in the 30 year. Some bids now showing up at like 150.15. Okay, so don't like the stacks below me on that fill. But ES does look positive. Are these just gonna pull? This could be something else if it goes down. Could be something else if it goes up. Oh, there it is going right there. So there is some liquidity above us in the ES. Not a lot of volume going through here at this spot. So that's a little better. The last big order that I saw was selling at 30 and 30.5. Do it, buy it. Could see the 151 handle today. 150.21 was a 2019 high. Huh. Well, yes, it bought through that big offer. Treasury's not selling here, though. Okay. 29.5 didn't pull a ton. Oh, there you go. They'll just take it. Oh, and look, only 1,000 traded and there was 4,000 bid. The thing with that one is that makes me really suspicious about this 29 and 28 half. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't be looking for a ton here, but there you go. Oh, I guess I get this because they are upberging here. Okay, sure. Sure. So when I'm taking a short, this is a little bit of a new thing because I haven't taken a reversal in a very, very long time. But very often, what's happened to me when I'm on a reversal is I'll take something like that and I'll get some movement on it, and then it's just a pullback. So that one, I caught the move that has a high probability of happening. As soon as I started to see any kind of volume start to actually trade at a price, I took it off. And I guess with a move like that, there becomes a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of price making. So I would rather take little small trades. Oh no, what happened? There we go. But I mean that's 100. What does that put me at for the past 2 weeks? 216. Almost a new high in the portfolio. Almost. Ronk says hee hee. Yeah. I mean this thing right here. Hmm. Can you imagine if I hadn't have done that? It would be very happy. Woulda, coulda. Yeah, the screen gone for a second was funny. That it's this thing where if you come down to the taskbar and you mouse over something, it makes everything else go away. See, I hate that. Which one is which? Where's the end? There's the end. I hate it. I wish you could like. I wonder if is there a way to turn it off. Let's see if there's a way to turn it off. Hmm. Settings. No, that's not the right settings. I don't think I oh, here we go. Taskbar settings. Show badges. People. I don't see any properties for it. Uzi says, I can't believe people are still buying ZV up here. Right? They actually seem to have accepted these prices up here somewhat. I mean, I took it at 30, took it off at 29, it turned around right there. This is once again is like the way that I scalp can give you pretty good can get you pretty close to the edge, but I'm usually not that accurate, and there's quite a bit of luck in catching that. I would think the block cells would be raining down like meteors, right? I don't know, man. Especially since the E-mini is not it's not going for new lows yet. I think they probably will do it again. Because there's this let's come over here and look at the chart. So there was this oh gosh, I need a smaller thing. So there was this, then we thought that was key. So now there's this one and this one. Okay. We haven't gone through this one yet. Treasuries are elevated. E-mini's not gone through yet. I think there's a good chance that the E-mini is going to have another fall. If you had got it short at 28, 24, that would have been good short. Now that it's down here, you got too much of a chance of it flipping back up on you a little bit. You don't get good risk reward. But you can also see here, when we look at the deltas here, that is a market that just had just completely freaked out and is now balancing back out. So probably the worst is probably over for now. And then maybe after I go, they might have another shot down towards the lows, I think. It is interesting how the viewers come and go. They don't, I'm trying to see a pattern in it, like, did I say something? It's that sort of a thing. But no.
Block cell.
Okay, so there's a block cell. There, speak of the devil, Izzy. That's what you were looking for, right? $6K at 29. And ES seems to be pushing back up. Uzi says I ain't shorting it. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't short it at 29. Certainly wouldn't short it at 29. If we had caught 30 or 30 half, maybe you could wait and see if it dumps through. But yeah, the problem with these block orders is that the market likes to fight them. The market's like, oh, you went short? Well, let's see if you can handle, how big your stop is. That probably sounded stupid when I said it, but they totally start pushing the market the other way almost immediately nowadays. Doesn't mean that it reverses. It's not like a reversal signal. It's just like you'll get a little bit of a profile around it. So probably we're going to get a profile like this. You're already kind of seeing it, but I think that it will fill out a little bit. And it'll be like this, centered around 29.5 and 29. Maybe they push back down and they go to this 26. Sometimes the block orders are caused by stops being taken out. Yes, it's another really good point. It's kind of contextual, right? That's why I stopped. I used to, when I first saw them, that was a signal. Like I would just go with them. And it worked out really well for me for a while. But then the market started, toying around with it. For stops, though, I think that a better indication of stops is when it ticks up and then you immediately start seeing orders going into the next price. That to me is stops. Those block ones, there's usually like, they usually tinker around with it and wait for it to bid up that much before they slam it. And I also think that it's probably algorithmic. But I don't know. I haven't seen those orders for a while. There was a lot of them today, though. See, I'm still tempted to short it here. Like at 30. But 15 minutes left. I don't know. Oh, and that 30 half pulled a little bit too easily. So now I'm not sure. They could. I mean, they have enough room now. They probably could go up and make another new high. Too difficult for me to know. Some wild stuff, though. The nice thing about today is that I think it's signaling to us that this is not over. That this drama could drag out into June. In fact, I'm not trying to freak anybody out or anything, but maybe let's make a new tab here. Oh, how long have I been over here on the charts? And if I go ES, where is it? There it is. Could we see the December lows? Sure. I think that at least 2600 would be fair. Starting from this little spot right here. That would be a place to test. And this 2750 would be a place to test. And that would take some time. So, and this is good trading for me. So I'm kind of happy. And I made 9 ticks today. No, not 9 ticks. 7 ticks. I made 7 ticks. No, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. 7 ticks. Good deal. Happy. Did they make a new high there? No, they didn't. They did. They did not. They did. My indicator is messed up. They did. Yes, we did. We're like well above. It's kind of crazy to think that I was, long at 21. Could have done it 3 times, in fact. Looks like ZV could be shushing for the 151 area, yeah. So I'm watching here. They might have to get up to these levels, they might have to do a level break setup. Sure are stacking up at 30 and everything. Pushing, not shushing. Is that what I said? This move from the bottom of this range back up here to the high was really fast. Okay, so they didn't do a level break setup per se, but they did just step up to it at 31 and in a pretty aggressive manner. This is where I think that if I put a limit order at 31, there's probably a really good chance that if I get filled, that there will be oh nope, only 628, so I don't want to mess with it. I don't think I want to mess with it, even though there's a decent opportunity there. So they're not too sure. There it is right there. Okay. This should be probably to there if they hit it. Come on. There was some stops into 125 even. It's fighting it a little bit. Fine. Cool. Now I got 8 ticks. Took me 4 trades to do it though. So it's really like $120 instead of $125. They may still do it. I don't know. So when I saw that, that was definitely the level break setup at 31. When they do that, they should tick up. They should start stacking up at 31.5. Maybe even do it again, and then hit that 125, that 6,000 all at once, and just go through it. Instead, it's ranging at 31.5. So it doesn't mean that they're not going to do it, but it's a much lesser probability. The faster that they do it, the better, right? I don't want to see it be ranging back and forth like that. Even though there could have been 3 ticks in that. Let's see what it does. ES is still pushing down. So I'm thinking now. Okay, so now it's stacking up at 31.5. See, maybe they will hit it. It's not like a big offer anymore. It's just standard. I was thinking, what was it, 2 days ago on CNBC? The story was that the hedge funds appear to have gone risk on.
Block buy.
Okay, there it is right there. Okay, wouldn't have gotten filled at 05. Interesting. That's not normally how that would go. So that was a failed level break. I'd be getting out if I was still in. I think that I might just be hitting into 31.5 now because that should not do that. There should have been more stops at 005. I think that they just did a level break right into a key level, and it's not turning out so well. There were too many people there looking to take profits, I think. Yeah, look at the 5 year. It's a pretty steady up move until that downtick there in the 5 year. So that might be it. They did get 19. I hope that was none of you guys. If that was you, you're gonna get a spanking. That was. Don't get caught in that one, guys. Please. Don't be that. Don't be those 19. Huh? You feel awfully dumb when you end up being that guy. I've been that guy before. Never again. Never again. Not on the level break. Do not be the one that gets caught on the level break. Ugh, those are ugly. So now the question is, are they going to make it all the way back to 29 again? So this one is a little interesting when you look at the Vista chart. Ooh, I don't know. I wish I need to make like a magnifying glass or something so that you guys can see it. But sometimes we've had it where there's liquidity, up here at the top, and as they tick up, it just shows up above it again and above it again, and then as it ticks down, it comes down, and so you get a little bit of liquidity above the top of it here. This time, they kind of went through the liquidity and like right back through it, and then the liquidity showed up again, and they bought 6K there, so somebody put another 6K on top of it. So that really was like they pulled the level break, but they didn't get any points out of it. So when that happens, what do? You exit, you dump, and that's why we're down 4 ticks. $8.26. Well, how's Bitcoin doing, by the way? We get to the end of the day here. How's the Bitcoin doing? Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at all of those investors. Look at all of those investors wisely fleeing to Bitcoin as the market enters turmoil and chaos. Not that, unless you're not detecting the sarcasm there. I'm joking, because Bitcoin has not moved up at all. And if Bitcoin was a flight to safety, you would definitely be seeing people fleeing into Bitcoin today. But it is not. Because Bitcoin is a risk asset and people are risk off. And also Bitcoin had a flash crash yesterday. So could get ugly. Well, they did get back to 29. Could have shorted 30. No. 30 would have been a bad short. 31.5 would have been good. I should have taken 31 when that failed. But I was too interested in talking about it instead of taking the trade because I already had 8 ticks. Oh well. Well, what do you think? Um, Going back to our conversation that we had earlier, where I was like, well, I could have taken this one and I could have taken this one. Should I have been more aggressive? Or do you think that it was right for me to be like, okay, I got what I need? Because when I've caught moves like this in the past, I feel like I have a tendency to give a lot of it up. But today, it this is definitely my kind of action. I clearly had some edge in this. I got 4 winners in a row, on both the long and the short side. They were small ones for the most part. Well, one was four ticks, but they're small winners, but they were still good, right? So I think that I definitely had some edge today. Should I have pushed that edge a little bit further? If I had pushed that edge a little bit further, I think I could have made another 8 ticks or more. And it would have had a 16 tick day, which would have been amazing. But how would my mindset be different? Where would I have screwed up if I had kept pushing it? I'm not quite so sure. And how far is this going to go down? Are they going to go back to 26? That would be super interesting to me if they go back to 26. So I'm just going to sit and watch. I'm not going to take a trade after 8:30. Well, that's going to be what I put on the comments. We should make a new picture. What do you think? Should have a picture where I'm like, no, like this. Like I'm being successful. That would be good. I think so. I think we should do it. Camera. Wait. Let's see if we got it. Where is it? This one right here. Yes. I think. I'm going to move it up here so we can still see the Dom, right? Where's my picture? There's me right there. Okay. New. Lasso select. Can you hear my bird in the background? He sounds upset about something. Not bad. So let's make a new layer here for me. There we go. Maybe make me a little bit bigger than that. Oh my God, you're a stock photo. It wants crackers. Yeah, the bird. I don't know. I think he's upset at the wind. It's just making a lot of noise and it's kind of scary. And he's probably a little stressed out about it. But when they go like, that's a frustrated bird. He makes those sounds when he's frustrated. I don't know what shows up on your end, Seth, but ever since you posted that picture on the front of your YouTube page, I now get an ad from TradeNet. Oh, I don't know. Business confidence collapses to a 7-year low. Oh, and by the way, good morning, Shalom. What did you think of the really big fall in Bitcoin? Well, not really big, but a little bit of a flash crash yesterday. Why wait? Why are so happy? What happened? Oh wow, I see. Nice profits. Oh, you could just tell that I was in good spirits. That's funny. No, I want to change the picture. Like, I think that the shock picture was like one, but now let's see when people can see, oh, look, he's doing good. He's making money, right? Let's see how people respond to that one, right? And let's take a good picture of the Treasury note here. Mm-hmm. Which one is it? Yeah, it's that. What happened? It's that one. That there. No, we'll turn off surprised Seth. There we go. Okay. There we go. Save. And save it as oops. I thought I had yeah, I do have. I'm gonna make it as a JPEG though. Or was it a PNG? Yeah, it was a PNG. Is the 23rd? 3rd. 5/23. Save. And how big will that make it? Oh, okay, yeah, we're good. We're good. I do not buy anything when Bitcoin is over 7K. Don't follow the small moves, just dollar cost average under 7K. Yeah, so the reason I ask is because yesterday there was a pretty big, well, not pretty big, but there was what appeared to be some whale activity buying it. And then, a few hours later, it took a really big dive. Now, it wasn't as big as the dive that took us to like 77,000, I think. But it was a move, and it was like really out of nowhere flash crash. Well, people were calling it a flash crash. And there appears to be no real reason for it. It was interesting to me. Okay. Change thumbnail. Pictures. Oh. Here it is. 23. All right. So there was that. Oh yeah, and let's leave a comment on the video. We still got a little bit. I'm still gonna be around for a little bit. Don't go anywhere, folks. No, I think we'll give it another 5 to 7 minutes because there's just so much crazy happening. You want to try and catch as much of it as you can. Okay, folks. Whoop. And oh yes, so I'm posting a comment. So where is it? Here we are. That was a great day for me. And it looks like we may get more weeks of volatility. What do you think? Should I have pushed my edge more? Or Was I right to be conservative? Normally, June is a pullback month and July goes to new highs. And you think that it'll range between 6 and 10K. So, that's interesting. I'd be really astounded if they made it up to 10K. Can totally happen. But that would really be something else. That would be beyond anything that I've seen in it so far. All right, so now we're posting the Bitcoin notes. Now the other side of it is that if we see 6K next, I don't believe that 6K would hold, because everybody's going to see it as a double top and panic. You know what I mean? I just feel like that where we are at in Bitcoin is a very precarious spot, and that you cannot fall very far before it just turns into a flood. And at that point, when things start getting bearish, people start looking for reasons why, and then at that point, then the Bitfinex thing might become a more significant concern on people's minds, and that's like a real real scary situation that we're looking at over there in Bitfinex. So if it goes down, it could go very quickly. And I think that you could have a run on that exchange, and oh man, like just that the indicator just says that we are just in such a dangerous spot in Bitcoin. I just can't imagine how anybody can look at that chart and be like, oh, I want to buy here. Pivx. Vertcoin. Vertcoin looks a little overdone too. The believers in Vertcoin are very dedicated, though. I wouldn't be surprised to see that one outperform in a bull market. Same with Verge. Verge has got a lot of use. So, and they underestimate it. Verge is the best shitcoin. Well, the second best shitcoin. The best shitcoin is Garlic Coin. I need to go and pull out some Garlic Coin, because they're almost worth a cent. They're almost worth a cent now. I could be giving you guys, I think, one Garlic Coin for each comment on the video. That's what I think we should do. What people do not realize is those fractals they study are flash crashes, which normally end in under 10 minutes. Whales hit the stops and then buy the blood. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that it is a whale hitting stops. And I think in this case, what I believe is happening is that the exchanges are looking at margin positions and going for them. Right now, ever since we reached up to here, it's 7K or whatever, 8K. I haven't really seen many significant moves in margin positions. And then yesterday, I saw somebody put a buy on, and sure enough, they went down and got him. If I saw a really big short get put on, I think that you'd almost have to expect them to try and push it up, because apparently what they're doing is they're printing Tether. And so like somebody gives them $10 million and then they print $10 million in Tether. And what they do is that other guy goes out and then goes buy his cryptocurrencies with it. And instead of putting the money in the bank so that it's backing for the currency like it's supposed to, they're using those dollars to go out elsewhere and buy Bitcoin. So they totally will go onto the exchange and create a stop run so that they can take more money. Oh yeah, Uzi, did you catch a short? Hope you guys got a little bit of that, but tell me in the video comments how you did. That's a really great place to talk about that sort of stuff. Because when I watch the videos on replay, it doesn't always let you see the chat. It takes a while for it to uh, calculate that and show it correctly. Yeah, do you realize the exchanges inflate the amount of cryptos many hold? Well, they inflate the volume for sure. There isn't any good liquidity in Bitcoin for trading, not that I would trade it. If not, I would trade it. It has good moves, but it's not safe for day trading. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's just, I mean, this is why I think that ZN makes one of the best instruments for day trading. There's so much liquidity, right? There's the randomness. There's less randomness in ZN because there's so much liquidity. Bitcoin, the liquidity is so low, man, it can randomly move 50% if it wants to. Exchanges are just banks. So did you see I don't know, it was the bitcoin.com who is Bitcoin Cash friendly. They have set up, coming out in the next month, I think, a decentralized exchange. You sure you want me to share my opening long on ES? I mean, yeah. I Because if you made a mistake, you know, if you have a question about it, like maybe what would you have done or what would have kept you out of that, then I can share that. Otherwise, we can just commiserate with you because that really sucks if you took a long and got blown out. It's, it happens. But like I think that's where the real advantage of having a room like this comes from, is when something, like I had a really bad day on Monday. Like I was saying, it was like I was walking to work and I felt like my face was like melting. It was like it just felt like so weird. Like it was exhausting, really. And it took me a little bit to come back from that. I think that you guys helped me a little bit. Just even if you didn't even say anything, but just having somebody to be able to tell it to helps. And then I went to the gym, and being around people at the gym helps, even though they don't know that that's what happened. And averaged in.
Block sell.
I just don't like. I mean, if that's your strategy, then it's fine, right? Like, if you have a strategy and you say, okay, this is the most that I want to lose on a single trade, and that means that I can average in, across this many ticks, and you have it all calculated out, and you have an edge so that when you do get it, that you're taking a bigger profit than your loss, then it's okay. But for scalping, the averaging in thing just like almost never works. It's ugh. Live action says it's all good. It's almost even. So it was good. That's great. Oh, did you average out the loser and then get out at break even or something like that, or make some of it back going short? That's another one. And I think that some big traders actually do that. I have seen it where, it'll move and it seemed like a big trader was probably caught the wrong way, but I don't see stops. I see it that they'll buy it a little bit lower and then it comes back up, and then there'd be another iceberg the other way, and they're probably taking it out break even. But if you're a market maker and you're having that much stuff, that's probably like you have to do it, and probably the amount that you're losing there is probably minuscule in comparison to everything else. Yeah. Anyways, I want to hear those things, like let's make the comments a spot to talk about that sort of, have fun. To commiserate, share your successes, have fun. Because when you're watching the video on replay, it's hard to go and look at the comments. But when you put them on the video, I get notifications that you put the comment on the video. You'll get notifications if there's replies or if people like what you put. So the video comments is probably, and it associates it with that day. So if you want to share stuff specific to this particular video, and you want it to be there, easy to find, well into the future, the best place to do it is to put it in the video comments. So that's why I've been putting a little comment about how I felt about that day. That way I can, oh, you know what, while I'm thinking about it, I should go and change the day because it's not the 21st, it's the 23rd. Cool. So that it's just because I've had issues where it's like, okay, I had a problem today. Let's go find another day that was like this and look at that and see if there were similarities to it. And then when I was trying to go through the videos, they didn't even have the dates on them, and I didn't say anything about in the comments about what that day was like, and so it was hard to know what to look for. So now I'm changing the date every day, and I'm leaving a comment, and if you guys leave comments, it will make it even better. I looked at the tick, and after seeing many situations like this at negative 1200, I expected a long, but they got eaten. Did you guys long the treasuries? Well, so I got most of what I made today from going long, but I did not catch that really, really big move up. I had at that point felt like I was already done for the day. I didn't even actually expect to take these two trades down here, but they gave them to me and they were really small ones and they were good. So why not? German business confidence fell to the weakest in more than 4 years as the escalation of global trade tensions weighed heavily on the outlook, says Bloomberg. Yeah. So here's the real question now says, I think that reality is starting to set in on the markets. That's what happened today, I think, was that they realized that we are not out of the woods and that these trade war is maybe the base case is actually that they continue for some time and that the market could go a lot lower because of it. So now the question is, what is actually fair value here? I think that the E-mini has a long way to go. I think that it could take several days for them to price this in correctly, because I felt like that we should be at like 2,600. If that's what happens, you could see Treasuries continue to move around a lot and still have some good action. So I'll continue to trade it as long as I can. I don't think I want to trade it in June, though. In fact, my plan before today was that I was going to trade today and tomorrow, and then I was going to stop on Tuesday. Like, I didn't want to do it after Memorial Day. Anyways, it's time for me to go. So let's see here. Did I get everything? Oh, not quite. I need to type in here on Bitcoin. Okay. So there's that. And it's Thursday. Okay. Any more questions? Nope. All right. Well, as always, thank you guys for stopping by and chatting with me. So I thought we had some good conversations. You guys made some really hilarious comments today. And I had a good day, of course, so I feel really good. 8 tick. I haven't gotten an 8 tick winner day on my live account for a while, so I'm really happy about that. If you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button. If you're not, no, I will always stream. Lucas says, so no more streaming from? No. We'll always stream. It's just that the trades that I might take might be on sim, is all. That's all I was saying. Like, I don't do well in the summer, so I'm probably going to move back to sim in June. But if the market continues to behave like this, I might still trade it. We'll see. We'll see what next week is like. Anyways, where was I? Oh, yes. Okay. If you're not subscribed and have that bell icon hit, then do that. The advantage of the bell icon is that when you wake up in the morning, you can just go to the YouTube page and it'll be like right there because you have the bell icon. So that's the advantage of that. And then leave a comment for me about how your day was. And thank you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable.